the PlayStation. So, for those that were listening previously, this was not the game we were supposed to play this week. It was supposed to be Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness, but the reason we're not playing it is because I discovered after playing 4 hours of the game that it wasn't screenshotting the trophies, and then doing some research and watching other people's Twitch streams, when you stream Psycho Pass, it just shows as sort of that blue no video error.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, and I looked into it. Apparently, they have completely locked the ability to stream that game from the PlayStation. So it would have been
crazy.
2 or so hours of just a blue screen. So I'm glad that I noticed it.
Yeah.
But it also meant that I have this entire secondary script that's going to go unused. But I had to also scramble to get this game. But luckily, we do have a lot of games this month, so we're doing this one instead. But my question to you is, how do you feel about this system, which I didn't really, like, it didn't even occur to me that this could be a restriction for us, but apparently we now need to keep track of which games we can even stream because of these restrictions.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that that was even possible.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of shitty, to be honest. Like, I don't understand why they would do such a thing. Like, copyright restrictions or something? I don't get it, but it just feels very, especially with, like, nowadays, everyone and their brother is streaming, and, like, it just feels like it's very, kind of petty to put restrictions on it like that, in my opinion.
I mean, as two individuals who run a show that requires streaming, obviously we're of the opinion that, this is bringing in viewers, and it's bringing in people that could play your game, and this is all about opening the possibility of your game up. But I guess that's just not how the developers of that game view it. And I think that this actually might be a region thing, that it seems like a lot of specifically Japanese games that were imported seem to have these types of restrictions. So that's just possibly a cultural difference, or, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really weird. I find that very strange. And it's weird that they don't even, like, you can't even screenshot the trophies, like...
Yeah, it shows a little can't take screenshot right now. And that's when I kind of was alerted. And I should have paid more attention, because I could have stopped playing in about 2 hours and realized, oh, this is not going to work.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. So, as we go through this, I want to talk about this a little bit more, because you have played that game now and I have not. So maybe we can talk about it as one of the PlayStation Plus games, just as, we're going through our second choice of Uncanny Valley. Because, you have the experience now and I don't, and, we have people who probably want to know whether or not that game is worth downloading, so we'll talk about that, I guess, but...
yeah, we'll probably save it till near the end, but I do want to discuss it with you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I guess it's a good segue to, anyway, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Lauren, and who are you?
Oh, I am Tony.
And we're the 2D pixelated horror surviving gamers, and today we're playing together to get one trophy in Uncanny Valley.
That's right, Uncanny Valley is one of the January 2018 PS Plus free downloads for the PS Vita with crossplay on the PlayStation 4. We're busy people, and we play all of the PS4, PS Plus free games week by week, trying to achieve a trophy goal, so we can give similarly situated players a somewhat informed opinion on whether this game is worth both the download space on their PlayStation 4s and the temporal space in their lives.
This episode is going to be a targeted trophy challenge, which means we're working towards getting one particular trophy in the game, in this case, a stolen car, which is an uncommie... It's not communist, let me tell you that. It's
not a communist trophy.
It's an uncommon trophy with 27.97% percentage of the players who play this game earning that trophy, and we get all that data from psnprofiles.com. I won't be using a guide or any FAQ of any kind, due to the nature of this game, this trophy may get popped very quickly, or it may take quite a long time. It will be achieved, however, because eventually I will ask my compatriot Tony to guide me if I don't get the trophy just throughout the course of play here.
And for the gamers playing along with us, you have your goal. Please play along with us. And let us know in the comments if you beat Lauren in popping Stolen Car. Lauren, you can count us down when you're ready to synchronize gameplay.
Alrighty. I'm going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, it gives me control.
And we're off.
Using the inventory, use the touchpad button. Drag and drop the items. Okay. Okay. Press circle to ready your weapon and X to fire and triangle to reload. I'm never going to remember all this. Okay.
I'm here to remind you if the game doesn't do an adequate job. So, this time we're going old school. Not only do we have the obvious retro graphic scheme, but this is a classic video game genre, horror survival of the Resident Evil, Silent Hill, fame makers. But this one is probably a little bit closer to Lone Survivor, which was another PS Plus free game years ago.
Okay.
So you're probably noticing that you don't have control movement via the sticks. It's only by the D-pad.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Thank you for saying something.
You're quite welcome. We are in a little bit of a time delay, so that there may be some confusion as to I'm talking about things that have already happened, years ago.
Yeah, Tony is a bit behind because we live in different places and we cannot be in the same room as we are playing, so...
But listen, we're dedicated, so we will bring you this show through different times. We're making it happen.
We are time traveling while playing.
We do what we gotta do. We can't get over video restrictions, but we can get over time.
We can't stream certain games, but we can definitely play like we're playing. Whoa, what? What just happened?
Some survival horror just happened.
Yeah. All of a sudden, there were crazy things running after me.
Are you a bit nervous, this being a horror game? Because
No.
regular viewers may know that you're not great with these games.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I'm terrible at horror games. Anything even remotely suspenseful puts me on edge. Okay, there's a doorbell ringing. You know what? Because of the pixelated, sort of cutesy, it's almost cutesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really not that good. Even though I should be. I really should be.
You're handling it very well. I mean, like you said, it's hard to get too freaked out about a 2D.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. You can't, because it's 2D, you can't really get that in-depth, you know what I mean? It's not like it's not like an over-the-shoulder or a first-person thing where you're right there in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, while we have this little bit of a lull for the intro, I will say that the game is developed and published by Cowardly Creations. This is their only game released for the PlayStation or for seemingly any other platform. The team is based out of, I want to say Belarus. No, from Slovenia. And other than Zootfly, which is another gaming studio of not particular note, this is not an area that has a lot of game development. So.
Yeah.
This team is definitely a team that is doing this out of love and dedication.
That homeless guy.
Is that supposed to be a movie poster, you think?
I think they're movie posters, because I'm in the subway, so I think it's movie advertising.
I don't know if that's a reference to something or...
I don't know.
Googling that homeless guy brings up nothing, so I'm guessing it's just some non sequitur poster. Yeah. I do love it.
Hey, you must be the new guy. Nice to meet you. I will say the sound of like the sound of his car is very weird. Maybe it's just what I'm used to. I
Yeah. I found the dialogue sound to be a bit grating.
don't know.
Just
Yeah,
that
I
it's
agree.
not even like a typing. It's just I don't know. It's like a maybe a lo-fi typing. How would you describe it?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it, I guess. It's like
You know,
it reminds me a little bit. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like it, but you know how in I don't know if you've ever played Animal Crossing, but like
yes, yeah,
the sounds of the animals talking, like
yeah.
it's cutesy, but it gets on my nerves. Like it really does.
I would say the Animal Crossing is better. It
Yeah.
at
Oh
least
yeah. It's
sounds
far
like
superior to
what.
this. It sounds like people. It sounds like people talking. Like you can
Right,
get like dialogue out of it. Like it's dialogue sounds. But it just after a while, it's like, oh my god, stop.
right. Buck is a bit obese. I just have to point out. I
Yeah,
found that
he's rather
amusing.
rotund.
I don't know. I found that interesting because I think what they're playing off of here is that he's sort of a stereotypical lazy security guard, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have to do most of the heavy lifting.
Right.
So the train station was called Canute Fruit or Nut Fruit,
Yeah, I
but that
saw
doesn't
that.
seem to reference anything in real life. So it seems to also be a non sequitur, at least from my googling.
Hmm.
That is what I try and do here, and try and give some reference to what we're doing.
Yeah, Tony's the brains of this operation. I'm the poor video game player. Not poor, as in like poor. Also that, but I meant like bad. I'm bad at them.
I hear you. I will say that Melior probably also is not supposed to reference anything. It does happen to also be the name of a company based out of Canada, but it just seems to be a
Yeah.
operating resource project company, whatever that means. So I don't think that's supposed to be related. I think they're just pulling whatever proper nouns sound good.
Right, right. It's just like a word generator.
Yeah, you know. And actually, there's some interviews with the developers of this team, and when they came up with the name of their studio, Cowardly Creations, for the purpose of this project, they're on record as saying that essentially they just came up with whatever sounded good, that it just happened to not be taken. So I don't think there was just
Mm-hmm.
much thought process other than,
Yeah.
Cowardly is related to scary, and we're making a horror game. So Buck is situating us in our map, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Telling me how to get places. God, it's a pigsty in here.
You ever had to share a workspace with somebody that you just felt was not as hygienic as you would like them to be?
No, actually, I've never really had that problem. I've always been like, not that I'm dirty or anything, but I'm disorganized. I'm messy.
Oh,
I put things everywhere. I don't,
are you the Buck in this situation?
I probably would be.
Uh, a little more svelte as Buck, but
Yeah.
okay.
Like he's got his feet up and everything. Did he tell me to go somewhere?
So here's what I'm going to ask you because I played enough of this game that I could possibly lead you to get every single trophy within 2 hours.
Oh, really?
I don't want to do that. And it's not the conceit I want to do for this episode because there is no platinum to this game, so it didn't feel like a good time to do. Because eventually I do want to do that. I want to do it where the goal is to get the platinum. But
Right.
because there's no platinum, every trophy is a bit random. They don't build on top of each other.
Uh-huh.
So the thought was, well, let's see what you randomly come across, and that'll be the fun of it is
Right.
what you happen to hit. And if you don't happen to hit the stolen car trophy, then I'll direct you towards that. But you ask me directly as you need hints or you need some direction, and I'll try and give you increasingly more obvious hints as we go. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Check this out. I'm walking
Yeah.
back and forth here, right? Watch the building in the background. Oh, you're
Oh
probably
yeah,
out of the way.
yeah. It's kind of like swaying.
Yeah, it's
That's
like moving
that's
when I
weird.
move instead of like I mean, I'm sure they were just trying to get like the skyline to line up or whatever, but it's just like way too much. What am I supposed to be
I
doing
like
right
it.
now? Well, Buck told me
That
to do something, but
that
I have no idea what.
I don't remember what he said, but my guess would be is that he wants you to change into your uniform to begin your shift.
Oh, so I should probably like go. How do I do that?
I think your uniform is located in your apartment.
But how do I get to my apartment?
You'll want to leave the building and go through the forest.
Uh, I was trying to like, button mash my way through there, through the outside. I was already out of the building and I was like trying to figure it out, but I couldn't.
I just picture you standing outside his office screaming, X, 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 X.
It's pretty much what I did. I was standing out by the car and I was like, X up, circle.
Buck is like, oh my gosh, we're never hiring from this temp agency again.
I thought I had to take the car. I didn't know I had to walk through the creepy forest.
Hey, I appreciate that you're interested in the car, considering you have a trophy that you're looking for, but
Yeah.
not so easy.
Everything is like there's like rattly noises. I don't like it. Make it sound.
You know, I also played this game, half of it without sound and half of it with sound, and
Okay.
it's one of those things. I don't know if you've ever watched a horror movie without the sound or without the accompanying music, but man, does music completely. It's the it's the main source of anxiety in these films and games.
Yeah. Yeah. I I tend to avoid horror movies.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't watch them with or without sound. I just don't watch them.
it's a good way not to get scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I don't watch horror movies that rely on a lot of gore,
Yeah,
like
I hate
that
those are
visceral
my least
aspect.
favorite. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it makes me squeamish.
Yeah.
I don't get any enjoyment out of it. But
Nope, same.
you know, the paranoia type films, the I don't know, the aliens and the ghost stories and the I like those. It's something about getting that fright that is very cathartic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't like any of that. It just puts me on edge, and I really just don't. I can't.
Yeah. So you've met Eve, the
Mm-hmm.
I guess token love interest.
What is she like the front desk lady at my apartment complex?
I think she's just a neighbor.
Oh, okay. No, but she said like I have your apartment all set up and like I'll put your uniform on the so like
Oh, maybe a landlord?
maybe. Oh, look at me, all handsome in my uniform. Oh, I like that he hung his coat up and everything. Look at him.
You gotta appreciate an organized protagonist.
Yeah. Trying all of these doors.
That's what a gamer does. You know how many times I walk through my apartment complex just trying a door?
Trying a door, yeah.
You know, and it's upsetting because in real life some of the NPCs get mad at you.
Right. And I don't understand it because like it's just how you do when you play a game. You just try all the
You
doors.
know, it's I feel like I get into politics a little bit too much here, but I heard this really amazing quote. Somebody said that a lot of politicians seem to be stuck in NPC mode lately, where they just say the same thing over and over again, and it's just not worth trying to talk to them any further.
Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate.
I enjoyed that quote.
Yeah, that's good.
So, the fire hydrant that you tried to pick up, you can pick it up. Any item that highlights in that kind of white, you can pick up, I believe, with the R1 trigger.
So I'm just going to carry a fire extinguisher with me from now on?
You don't have to. I'm just saying you can pick it up. It seemed like you were trying to.
I was. You're right.
So I'm going to spoil that, at least in my playthroughs, I never ran out of inventory space. Okay. So it seems to be more cosmetic than anything else, but I could be wrong. You know, maybe I just didn't play it in such a way that I collected enough items. But inventory management in survival horror games is key. I mean, that's you think back to Resident Evil, and it's all about using your ammo and using your medicinal herbs. You know, as soon as you lose health, or as soon as you hit like a stronger enemy, so that you know, okay, I need to save this up for the next boss, so I need to be able to get that thing. And that's a lot of the fun of it, because it's almost like not just how do I avoid this monster, but what do I need to survive. And that's a big part of these games.
Maybe that's why I'm not good at those types of games, because I'm not good at, like, you know,
long-term planning.
Yeah, or planning of any sort.
The L1 trigger will allow you to run, but you do have limited run in each screen, so just keep that in mind. And what else? The right stick will show you how much time you have remaining on your shift.
So I just have to chill in here until my shift is over?
You don't have to, but you certainly can.
I'm confused as to where Buck just left. He was like, oh, you're here, I'm just gonna go now. And not even like, ooh, balance.
I believe in your inventory you have a notepad which lists objectives for the game.
Okay.
How are you finding the controls so far? Pretty easy to manage, or a little bit
everything
clumsy?
everything is fine so far. I keep forgetting what they are. You told me how to pick a thing up and I forgot, and then I had to push like 6 buttons so I figured it out again.
Eventually you'll hit it.
Yeah. I'll get there.
I like the idea that currently there's a small fire happening back in your apartment complex, and the chef is like, where is the fire hydrant?
So I'm assuming, is this like one of those like Five Nights at Freddy's games where like weird things happen throughout the night when you're like on the shift or whatever?
We're so connected. You know, when I was playing this, I didn't think that at all. But just now, watching you in that room, I was thinking, man, I wonder if this was influenced by Five Nights at Freddy's.
Huh. When did this game
come
out?
No, this game came out much later than the Five Nights at Freddy's. It came out February 7th of 2017, so less than a year. And of course, Five Nights at Freddy's, I believe, has 7 games.
Like, I get the pixelated feel of this game, and I enjoy it, but I can't flippin' read this.
Let's see, subject indexing. Hey, Damien, we wrote some new algorithms for voice reproduction and recognition. The phrasing is much better now, and the flow is much more natural. We'll be sending you the stuff in about an...
Wait,
Thanks.
what? How do I get to... Oh, about an hour. If you could be so kind, update the database, thanks.
And it looks like this game takes place in 2013. Or sure somebody does not empty their inbox. One of those two things is true.
AI staff reshuffle. Apparently the new guy was a pansy and a mama's boy.
Nice. There's some office politics happening here at Helior, or Bellior. I love that the previous email said, I love my job. I don't think I've ever sent that email before.
No. Mm-mm.
I wonder how much, how many security guards and janitorial staffs snoop in an office building. I wonder if they find it interesting or just not at all.
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, they just like go through. I mean, I guess they're probably bored, but they also probably have to like stay in certain areas, I would imagine, depending. Like, maybe there's,
Yeah.
you know, like, because I know at my job, the security guards, they have, like, they rotate their posts, but if you're on, like, if you're on the metal detector, then you're stuck on the metal detector for your whole shift, and, like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, so.
But like, okay, imagine, you know, overnight security, or the staff at a hotel, like cleaning staff at a hotel.
Oh, I'm sure
I imagine
cleaning
they have to be
staff,
snoopers.
like, oh yeah, they're total snoopers, unless they're like really professional.
Maybe this speaks poorly of me. The fact that I would assume that they're snooping says it just says bad things about me. That I would be a snooper.
Well, that's why you gotta.
I wouldn't
tip
take
them, right?
anything
So
or disturb anything, but I would be curious.
Yeah. Oh, who wouldn't be?
Probably better people than us.
Yeah, right. Probably like decent human beings.
The housekeeping guild is furious right now. How dare they malign our fashion? You know, I have the camera hooked up to the PlayStation 4, and because of that, every time it thinks I'm saying, I think maybe "Hey PlayStation" or "Go PlayStation" or whatever the key phrase is, it'll pop up with, you know, it'll dim the sound and it'll try and get me to navigate with my voice.
Yeah.
I have never been able to get it to come up based on the command, but so many times I've said something, or I've been watching a Netflix show, and they'll say something that'll bring it up.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because it tried to do it now because we're streaming. It just said, error, you can't do that. But it's like, but why? What are you hearing that's making this happen?
My phone one of my older phones used to do that. You know, because if you say "Okay Google," it like pulls up the thing, and it would think I was saying "Okay Google" like all the time, and I eventually had to turn that functionality off because I was just like annoyed that my phone would think that I was trying to get Google to do shit for me.
It's possible that you just activated several viewers' Google Homes right now.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So you also can crouch by pushing down on the D-pad.
Oh.
A real-life version of like an avatar of me doing that would be able to crouch for 3 seconds and then would just protest, nope, no more.
Right? Your legs would be asleep and you would just fall
Exactly.
over. Nope, don't like. No. Why did I come in here? Why did you tell me to come in here?
To progress the narrative. This is not a sunny walk in the park, is it?
No. Good thing it was just a dream. Or was it? No, on my door. Meet me in the relaxation room tonight. Second floor, first door on the left. Slash Eve.
Who signs with a slash?
At the courthouse week sign. Oops. I'm trying to go. I'm trying to leave the room into my undies.
I'm coming, Eve.
Yeah, but at the courthouse, the judges and stuff, they sign slash S slash, and then they just type, so they don't actually have to like sign things. Well, sometimes the judges do that. I do that on stuff that I send to other courthouses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen slash S slash, but just one slash.
Just one slash.
Like an odd choice.
Yeah, it's not right.
That painting that's in the hallway, I think it's the Brazilian Christ.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't really look at the painting, but I know what you're referring
to. I know there's a more formal name than what I just said.
The Brazilian Christ. That's good enough.
Christ the Redeemer.
I don't like this whole walking through the woods with a flashlight thing that's going on here.
There were a couple of kind of lower budget X-Files survival horror games.
Okay.
Which of course involved a lot of flashlights, and I remember them probably better than a lot of people do, because they weren't, they weren't these amazing games. They were kind of clones of Silent Hill.
Okay.
But the way that this whole the motif here reminds me of like a Vancouver, as it screams X-Files to me.
Interesting. I've never seen very many X-Files episodes.
Well, you could jump back in. They have returned for another event season.
Yeah, I'm aware.
But I would kind of tell you to just, if you really want to, go back to some of the originals. I can give you a list.
I mean, I've seen
it goes off the rails.
I've seen like the one with Luke Wilson where where like Dana and Scully are. Scully and Mulder. Why do I like my brain is like. I can't.
I was waiting for you to correct yourself. I was like, that's.
I knew that wasn't right. I knew that her name. Anyway, so they're talking. They're trying to tell the story, but they're telling different versions of the same story. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the vampire one.
Yeah,
it's a great episode.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It's one of the few ones that I've seen. I really like that one.
Their comedy episodes, of which that's one of them, are outstanding. I can't think of a comedy one that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
But I think in television shows generally, I really like that subversion of your type of show, where they do something different, and they kind of play around with the format.
Yeah.
I always enjoy that. It's a simple way to get me on board with your episode.
Like, okay, I'm trying to read this, and the middle word is hum, but it looks like huh, because of the used to hum with activity.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean,
it's stylistically I understand, but
hoy. Hoy come, you even took a job.
It's just not HOV.
Yeah. It's the Hove lane. Gotta have 2 or more people.
Homie. So my initial question is, what is Eve doing at your job in the dark on the 2nd floor overnight?
Yeah, and especially since, and why is there even security here at all? I thought this building was like shut down and there was nothing going on. Like, why do they need people to watch it?
I think this is kind of the Shining situation where you're just making sure there are no looters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes it even odder that she's there because it's like you didn't invite her there. She invited herself there, and how did she get in? I assume those doors would have been locked.
Well, no, I mean, I imagine that Buck was there, you know? Buck could probably let her in.
She's tight with Buck, you think?
She mentioned Buck when I first got here.
Okay, all right, I'll accept that. Head canon.
She's like flirting with me.
Meanwhile, you're not even looking at her.
I know.
You're doing soap opera talk.
Yeah. He's like, sorry, bitch. I'm working here. Don't get me fired.
Listen, you got your priorities straight. You need your paycheck for your mysterious apartment. I get it.
Yeah, I gotta take her on a proper date. I need to get paid.
I like how annoyed you are with it. Like, what woman, what?
What do you want from me?
Did you play Outlast?
No. I played Outlast for like 30 seconds, and then I was like, I cannot do this. I got it so far as getting into the building, and then like I got into like the first room, and then there were noises in the hallway, and I was like, nope, see ya.
You noped right out.
Yeah, I totally did. Too bad there wasn't a trophy for it, like in that other game.
Amnesia. That's right. It's a trophy for just noping out of that game.
What is happening with the what? Do you see? Is this meant to be happening?
Ooh, that's interesting.
I think because he was trying to talk, and then I hit the button to open the door, and it was trying to tell me two things at once. They were like overlapping.
Ah, that's amusing. But you know, don't feel guilty because that is an example of bad game design.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I broke it.
You managed to break a lot of our games. Do you remember when you jumped and then you were stuck floating in space?
Yes.
In Darksiders?
Yes. That was fun.
Yeah, that was amusing. If anything, you'd be a good QA playtester.
Yeah, I'd be a good playtester. Like, what can I do, stupidly? Wait, all the things? That's how I play? Yes.
Why did she take the fire hydrant? She didn't even do anything with it.
Tony, if you call it a fire hydrant one more time, it's a fire extinguisher. A fire hydrant is the one that's outside.
That's right, on the ground. This is why I need you, man. I need you to call me out, my dum-dums.
That's funny.
It is funny.
Wait, what was it? The second floor, first door on the left, right? For the relaxation room?
Yeah, but you were there. It's a relaxation room in the office.
Oh, in the office. I didn't even realize, and I just like automatically went there. Cause I was like, the first night I was on the first floor. The second night I'll go to the second floor.
Well, you're very serendipitous.
I know, it's ridiculous. I thought she meant at the apartment building.
No, for some reason she's stalking you at your job.
Why did I just go to sleep in the doorway?
I don't think that you made it in time. You only have a limited amount of time staying awake after your shift, so you just fell asleep on the floor.
Because I went to the second floor first.
That's it. That was your downfall in life.
No, I don't remember.
And then, like most of my 20s, you wake up in a bar bathroom.
Stranger just told me to fuck off.
Like most of my 20s.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, look, a pretty girl. Oh, she told me to go away.
Also, I think she's crying.
No, I think they just move. Like, the guy over here is moving too. He's going up and down.
Yeah, but her hands are on her face.
No, her head is resting on her hand. Her like chin is in her palms. You know what I mean? She's just like
I
leaning
guess.
forward.
That's kind of a swooning motion then.
No, like, I think she's just sitting.
I don't know. I'm saying that she's either swooning or crying.
I think
Do you know why? Because girls have emotions. That's why. The
girls feel
patriarchy.
things.
That was Chikorita Bar.
I gave you money, dude. I gave you 2 monies. No! Go away. This is my shadow?
I don't understand why you don't like me.
Look at it. He's following. He's. Yeah. Go back. Go back from whence you came.
Classic Lauren yelling at her shadow. Stop following me!
It's too bad I don't have my flashlight in Dream World.
That's the first thing I bring to Dream World.
Yep. But I woke up in bed? Man, I'm good.
Sorry. Your definition of good is falling asleep in the middle of a hallway, having a psychotic dream about a shadow monster, and somehow waking mostly naked in your bed.
Somehow still making it to my bed.
Okay, well, it's a low bar, Lauren, but I'm glad you're passing it.
Sleepwalking. He was like, gotta get away from my shadow, and he sleptwalked right into his bed.
Oh, I love it.
So, is this game basically just like a grind? This is like a daily grind of me just going to work and coming home. Can I just like, is this like living my life, except for occasionally I have dreams where shadows follow me?
I wouldn't call it a life simulator, no. You know, the game does give you some leeway in how you approach what you do, but you are given objectives, and there are different pathways to the endings, but the game doesn't give you a very clear cut, do this, do that. So it is I think the point is to get you to explore enough that you kind of piece together, oh, I could do that, I could do that.
Got it. Well, it says that there is an objective to fix the power.
What's your time?
5 or something. Maybe.
Wait till it gets to 5. Okay, so unfortunately, the way that you entered and exited that room, it force skips the dialogue on how to fix the problem. Which I would say is another developer oversight, but okay. So, Buck was basically telling you over the radio, which doesn't make much sense because Buck was in that room, but he's telling you over the radio that the generator room is past the apartment complex.
Oh, so I have to go back through the woods.
You don't have to do anything, but
Well,
that's what Buck said.
I mean, if I want to complete the objective of fixing the power,
That's right.
then I have to.
Well, Buck doesn't seem to be doing much of anything there.
Yeah, well,
He's like, you take care of it. I'm watching YouTube videos of gamers. One of them can't even tell the difference between a fire hydrant and a fire extinguisher. It's hilarious. For example, I don't know what he's watching, just saying.
yeah. Oh, I get you.
I think you just entered your
I did. I
apartment
went
building
into the
again.
apartment
Yeah.
complex. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
But at least you know that it's safe.
Check this area out. It's good to go.
Another good day by Tom the Rent-A-Cop. Oh my gosh, they should power you up with like a Segway.
Would a Segway work in all this snow?
I think that's half the humor, just it getting stuck all the time.
Okay, wow, okay.
A little bit of a puzzle mini game here.
Connect the dots like so. You can't make two connections through the same pair of dots, Buck. Okay.
Which indicates that this power problem must happen more than once if he's got a note already pre-taped there.
Yeah. Okay. So where do I start? Let's see here. I start. I hate these kind of puzzles. Last one. Oh, there's one in the middle. Dang it. I didn't realize there was one in the middle.
What have you done?
I've ruined it.
I didn't enjoy the handling of this mini game. The control scheme.
Yeah,
I found
can't-
it.
Like, okay. You have to, like, go... Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, this is like the freaking worst. Okay. Let's see. Up, down. No, that doesn't work. No, let's not. What the hell?
Also, are you like you're rewiring a circuit board? How is this a good idea?
I don't know.
I mean, is that common problem? Like, oh no, the circuit board lost all of its wires.
Yeah, like, why can't I just use the D-pad? Like, I've been using the D-pad for every freaking thing else.
Yeah.
What? I need to get sleep. How much time do I have?
You probably have about another 2 minutes before you'll pass out.
I don't want to pass out in the power room.
What could go wrong?
Why can't I exit?
The door is slightly to the right.
Oh, I see. I thought it was at the end of the...
Tom, the security guard, is like, yep, that's a good wall. Wall looks good. Wall is clear.
I thought it was one of the rooms where you just walk to the end.
I'm sorry, I have to create reasons for Tom to be acting this way.
Yeah. Other than operator error.
Tom's like, you know what? This power situation won't matter in the morning.
Whoops.
Daylight will solve these problems.
I like that the elevator works, though.
Yeah.
Like, does the elevator have its own generator?
I wouldn't get into an elevator in a blacked out building. I don't care if it has a backup generator.
Oh,
I
God,
would
no.
not.
I don't like elevators as it is. And then to get in one where there's no power in the rest of the building? No, thank you.
Nope.
No.
Because what's to say that, you know, the emergency phone works, that the brakes...
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hard
nice buck in my
pass.
apartment.
Oh, Buck.
Oh, I'm controlling Buck now. This is Buck's apartment. Am I working Buck's shift? What's going on here?
I gotta say, I haven't seen this, so I have no idea what's going on.
You probably figured out the puzzle before I did.
Well, I don't want to say that I'm, really talented, but I'll imply it, leave it there.
Okay. Did you just opt to not turn the power back on?
No, I did. Man, Buck is going off. Buck does not like you.
Yeah, well, I don't like him either, so... He's so slow!
Can Buck run?
It's L2. No, he can't.
L1.
No, L1 turns my flashlight off.
No, L1 makes you run, but your flashlight is then pointed on the ground while you're running.
No. He's not moving any faster.
No, maybe he also can't run. That is possible. I never had the pleasure of being Buck. Did you just see that?
What?
Huh.
See what?
It looked like a flash of your character hanging in your room, like by a noose. But maybe I looked away real quick or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
But you didn't see it.
Well, you're also
there,
you're behind me, so I don't really know what you're looking at.
It seems like when you transition from scene to scene, like a flash of something is happening with Tom, and I can't tell what it is.
Oh.
So when you transition, I'll look again.
And people watching, if you see what he's talking about.
Oh, I'm just getting paranoid. Please let me know.
Yeah.
I like Buck's rambling, complaining. And I like that it's almost a punishment for not solving the puzzle. Like they're punishing you, the player.
Yeah,
you know?
they're punishing me by giving me this rant because...
You must see these flashes, right?
I see there are flashes, but they're not there long enough for me to like pick up on anything.
It could be a non-textual thing. It could be the game maybe glitching back to Tom because Tom is like the set protagonist. Do you know what I mean? And like Buck is just camera work. Hard to tell.
No, what did I just do?
What is happening?
Oh
dear.
I don't know
my.
what's happening.
Okay, that's
Ah!
Huh. I didn't get to see any of this. This is exciting. Normal dreams. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, normal dreams. This room next door or this room next door? Well, I guess I don't know. Can't get in either. Wait, the power's back on.
Says in a Steve Urkel-esque voice. So would you say that Tom is particularly good at his job, or?
Tom is terrible at everything. Like Buck was saying, he can't even connect some fuses on time.
I drew the envelope shape and everything.
I'm scared what I'm gonna find in here.
An angry buck, most likely.
Well, Buck went into the generator room and then he was like, "What are you doing here?" And then, like, everything went to black.
The mystery deepens.
Yeah. And now he's not in here.
What happened to you, Buck?
I was already on the first floor. I want to go to the third. Alpha. I'd love to come. I just don't know where his apartment is. From Nick to Victor.
Yes. Victor Alpha.
This guy's name is, it says we've been missing our fourth since, not David, Davude was
Davude.
fired.
Well, Davude is a real name, though.
Sure. Fourth floor, fourth door on your left. See you there. Okay, let's go there tonight.
It's a Persian name. You know what I think they might be doing? I think they might be pulling common names from different nationalities.
Yeah.
Ooh, 57 minutes and 6 seconds in, we get our first yawn of the evening.
Oh my god. Alright, don't tell me you're making a database of my yawns.
Oh, come on. You know that I had to do this. After the fourth time, I'm like, okay, clearly this is a good indicator of her level of stress and excitement.
Well, okay, no. First of all, no, because it's honestly just I woke up at 5:30 this morning and like this is just
In anticipation of playing this game. You just
sure, yeah, just because this game.
amping yourself up.
Yep.
See, I can't wait to read these office emails.
Orphans.
Office emails. Office. Oh, goodness. So what are you learning about this company?
I don't even know. They're going over budget. That's what I'm learning. They're getting deliveries from different countries and they think it's odd.
So this company is up to something no good, maybe?
Or something.
Okay, so this company supposedly has been abandoned.
Yeah.
We have all these emails from mid to late 2013, and just the fact that they still have power, they're still connected to a network, it's a bit odd.
Well, is it meant to be 2013 or is it meant to be present day? Like, is it
Well,
meant to be
okay, if it's meant to be present day, then you're looking at like 3 or 4 years that this company has sat
Right.
abandoned with emails. That seems odd.
Yeah, no, I agree. does beta tell me? Look how they spelled people. P-O-E-P-L-E. Poiple.
It's right. Pipe-o.
Oh, but I was intrigued. My shift is over.
What row?
Maybe I'll just fall asleep in here.
Whatever, my sleeping habits are effed anyway.
I mean, they are. He's gonna have nightmares no matter where I fall asleep, so like, it's whatever.
Oh, Tom, you were literally the worst.
Is it always, do all the clocks always say 3?
Yes. Yes, I noticed they don't change. A static image.
I wonder if there's a reason for that, or if it's just easier to not animate them.
My guess probably the second, but it would have been nice if, like, oh, you know, this company has been abandoned, the clock doesn't work anymore. Right. But if all the computers and emails work, I don't buy it.
Yeah. Unless the clock runs on batteries and nobody bothered changing them.
Do you think a big wall like structure would work on battery?
A wall clock like that? Yeah, I definitely do think that.
It seemed like it was like etched into the actual wall.
No, I don't think that's true. I mean, maybe. I like how his head ducks down when he runs.
Yeah. Tom's pretty tall.
Yeah, he is. Tall drink of water. Oh, no dreams that night. Still the red light, though.
Still that red light.
Wait, it was the 4th room on the 4th floor, right?
For what?
The poker night.
Oh. It might have been, you're right. I see where our proclivities lie.
I just want to see if there's anyone here. Or like if I can get
Okay,
in.
Tom. Going to break it up.
Ooh, I got in.
But I'll play around.
Yeah, deal me in. What can I can pick up? Ooh, I can pick up this guy's key card.
Nice.
His bed, all fancy.
It is like a fancy kind of love bed.
I love that.
Yeah, it's red. It's got little maybe roses on top. It's like, hey, come back to poker night.
You're ridiculous.
I know. And I'll never stop.
I know.
Okay, so 4 days, we've gotten a key card.
Wait,
do you have
my
any
shift
sense
is
of...
finished? It says my shift is finished.
My goodness, you really are going through these days pretty quickly.
You were asking me something.
Was I?
Yeah.
What's your sense of your goal at this point? At over an hour in, do you have a sense of what...
Ew! Look, I found Buck!
Ooh, Buck. Buck did not do very well.
He turned the power back on and then he lost his life.
He did.
Does that mean I'm the only security guard now? I don't like that.
Oh, Buck. You died the way you lived. Cursing and fat.
And in a big pile of mess.
Actually, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Completely accurate.
Yes, 100% accurate. Buck has the
I'm just glad
keys.
that Buck does have the keys, or
But
does
I
he?
just found it didn't let me search him. Are they in the room?
The room being.
The security office-y place.
Good luck cleaning that room.
Yeah, right. I wonder where Buck's apartment was.
It's a good question. It's a very good question.
Okay, can I go down this down? I have two I got that other guy's thing.
I think you only got one.
Oh. But okay, fine.
You protested, but I don't think you believed it.
I didn't. I'm gonna go snoop some more. What? What is
Tom, the
this?
security guard. Pushing all the buttons.
Oh, that's bright. Sorry for the delay. Change your state password to your birth. 41. David's birthday. Wait, did he turn 40 or 41?
Good question.
Oh, and then he's not home? Legal or financial issues. Okay, so his year of birth, was he 40 or 41? Is he 40 or 41?
What does his email say?
It doesn't. So this one says,
You
I
turned
hope you
40.
don't have a midlife crisis now that you've turned 40. But this one says, how old are you anyhow? 41? I always forget. We'll have a good one.
I think he's 40. The 41 person doesn't seem to really know.
Okay. Alright, so what's 2013 minus 40? 20.
1973?
You did not just do that math.
Didn't I?
No.
I mean, it's an even number. It's not that. I may not know what a fire hydrant is, but I can do simple math.
Neither of those work. Oh, he needs both a safe key and a password combination. I have a key. I need a key. I don't have a key, I just have a password.
So close, but
No.
really, really far away.
I know, super far. I just read all these emails. Why? Stop. Stop. Okay.
Ugh, close the Outlook program.
Back to snooping. Where was I?
So your shift is over, is that right?
Shift finished.
Hmm.
But I had woken up. Remember, I went to
And
sleep.
it was already finished?
And I woke up and I didn't have a nightmare and it said shift finished.
I wonder if you no longer have shifts. Like, because Buck is dead.
Right, but wouldn't then I just have all the shifts?
How do jobs work?
Right? Because if
How
there's
does
no...
one job?
This guy is always getting fucked in the ass, according to his email.
Well, that's
I mean...
unfortunate or awesome,
Poor
depending on your point of
Damien.
view.
Oh, Damien and Andrew are together.
Nice.
that's why he's always getting fucked in the ass. Sorry, that was terrible.
Well, I mean, it's probably accurate.
I mean, not untrue. Not untrue.
But okay, so is he cheating on his wife? Is that what's happening?
Is he married?
Yeah, I think he's married.
To
And
Maya?
then he's cheating on his wife with Andrew.
No,
He's married to
Damien.
Linda.
No, wasn't that David?
Playing
guy
with you
with-
and your wife Linda. So Damien is with Linda.
Wait, which email says that? Oh, here we go.
keep
The
going.
one from Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Salacious. This is what security guards do with their time. I knew it.
Wait. So he's with Andrew. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
And Andrew's being a bit catty.
yeah, a little bit.
I just imagine Tom is like, ooh, Andrew.
Man, Charlie doesn't have any secrets. Oh, here we go. What just happened? Did the power go out again?
I don't know.
Wait, I just
I'm
woke
behind
up. What the hell? What's happening?
The game certainly does seem to glitch out when you're doing something and then it's transitioning. So I think, yeah, you basically fell asleep from exhaustion. And now we don't have any more days. It didn't say day 5, or maybe
Right.
when does it say day 5? When you leave?
Yeah, when you wake up, it says whatever day. When you put your uniform on.
Yeah, no, it's not saying it anymore.
Yeah, I
So
know.
I think that we've entered a loop where the game is sort of asking you to essentially finish something, do something.
But it says to fix the power and that's incomplete. Maybe I just have to go search Buck again.
I don't think you'll be able to fix the power because the power is back.
That's what I'm saying, but maybe I just have to go, like... And I did go in there and he said, I don't want to mess with this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm meant to be doing.
Well, talk me through. What's your instinct to do?
I don't have any because I don't even know what the point of the game is. Like, I don't know anything about this game. I want to go back into the place where the power is. Buck has the keys to the car. I want to see if he has them. Or to see if I can find an apartment in the building that belongs to Buck so I can find the keys.
I like that idea.
The apartment idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go into the power generator
Okay. Buck's not gonna smell any better though.
first. No,
Also, I really love the way you said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. It made it seem like it was the point of view of Tom, like Tom's having an existential crisis.
Yeah. Who am I? What is this?
What is the point of all of this? Will I one day be like Buck?
I mean,
Angry, alone, with Burger King wrappers all around me?
can I have a snack?
They're not allowed to cook anything since they don't have the health code anymore because somebody stole their fire extinguisher.
Distinguisher. It tells you whether or not something is fire.
I have distinguished your fire.
Yes, that is fire. Oh yeah. No, it's a windmill. It's a windmill. The painting that you thought was Jesus.
Oh, it is a windmill. Yeah, that makes more sense than Christ the Redeemer, doesn't it?
A lot more. Oops, that's my apartment.
Especially since it wasn't like an island on top of a hill. It was just,
Yeah.
it would have been Christ the Redeemer on like a plane.
Yeah, right? Like a... Okay, let's see. got. Please tell me you get that.
Yes.
Okay. Ew, Buck's apartment is so disgusting. Oh, look.
Oh, Buck.
Key.
Someone got a key.
Someone
Did you think
got
that
a-
Buck's apartment was gonna be like nice?
Oh God, no! But I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it would be this gross. That's like super gross. Ding. Ground floor.
As you jubilantly sprint down the hallway. I got a key.
I got the key to the car. Flashlight.
Where the hell did Eve go?
I don't know. Why was she even there in the first place? Good riddance, Eve.
Is she like just still sitting in the room?
She's still in that room
"Where
on the
did
second
Eve-"
floor. I haven't been back to the second floor, so could be that.
Could be.
Whoa, I got a trophy that says stolen
Oh.
car.
You got the trophy. My gosh,
Whoa.
that is.
What?
The-
Now I'm getting. I just got beat. Wait, what? Now I'm. Where? What?
What's happening?
What just happened?
This is supposed to be a joyous moment.
Okay, so I got the trophy that we were aiming for.
That's right. Stolen car at 29.70%. Uncommon trophy according to psnprofiles.com. That is the trophy that I was aiming for you to get because I figured it would be the most obvious. Most of these trophies are, I don't know. I followed a guide playing this game
Okay.
to see if I can get all of them, and I was able to get the majority of them ahead of my technical glitch, so I couldn't get a couple.
Okay.
You would have to play this game over and over again
Yeah.
in order to accomplish what the game wants you to do in such a short period of time.
Huh.
It's weird. Okay, so you keep going. I want to give you
Yeah.
a couple of things.
Sure.
So the total number of trophies in this game, there's no platinum. There's a gold trophy, which is 10.92% rare, 4 silvers, 7 bronze, for only a total of 315 points. It's one of the lower ones on our scale. And I don't know if you remember, I compared this to Lone Survivor earlier.
Sure.
So that game, that trophy list does have a platinum, 3 gold, 15 silver, 18 bronze for 1,710 points. And the amount of time that it would take to complete both of those games and the trophy difficulty is very similar. Most gamers say that it's about a 3 out of 10 as far as difficulty rating, and they can get all the trophies within 3 to 4 hours.
Huh. I just got another trophy.
What was it called?
Playing house.
Oh, so go meet Eve.
Yeah, I ran into Eve.
Yeah, she's in here. So what do you think the story of this game is?
I don't know. I'm so confused.
Okay, so
I think that he's having dreams within dreams.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if this is a dream sequence because clearly you're in like a house of some kind.
Right. But she said your nightmares are getting worse. She keeps calling you dear.
Yeah, this trophy is called Playing House, so that implies that this is not real because, you know, playing.
Yeah. Right. Wait, what did it say?
The mirror is cracked a bit. I could easily break it with something.
Why would I want to break the mirror, though? Okay, but I did. Alright.
the development team of this game, they said they were influenced by Lone Survivor, as well as Resident Evil and another game called Alone in the Dark. And Alone in the Dark was a game in which you could affect the world in a lot of different ways, and there was a lot of different outcomes that you could do depending on the inventory you had or the way that you moved objects. And I think that that was a big influence for developers because you actually can do a lot based on the items that you have and when you accomplish certain things. So the story, it alters a bit depending on what day you do certain things. For example, you can take that fire extinguisher and you can kill Buck like the first time you see him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's very jarring, and it's a weird little event, but it affects things. It's interesting because of the amount of effort they put into those details. It's almost like there was never an intention for you to be able to know the full breadth of the story within one playthrough. And so I wonder if you find that to be an intriguing thing or a frustrating thing.
I'm kind of frustrated by that.
Yeah. Based on the gameplay and I guess how engaged you are with the mystery, how long would you invest? I mean, assuming you had the time to invest in this game to get the amount of story, or would you even have put in this much if you hadn't had a show to do?
I probably wouldn't have done this much. I would have gotten frustrated because, like, or I would have either gotten frustrated and stopped playing, or I would have looked up what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot of, like, guidance, really.
Yeah, and that's one of the big complaints that people gave, that it was way too open-ended and the game didn't give you very many hints, and that it relied on the player just stumbling upon one clue, like the birthday thing, and stumbling upon a key, and stumbling upon this, and that it wasn't clear what to do.
Okay.
I'm trying to avoid giving you the big spoiler of this game because I feel like you're right there, and I want you to see it if we can.
I'm trying to... I can pick this thing up, right?
R1? Is it saying anything?
That's what I'm pressing R1. It's not... But it highlights whenever I walk up to it.
Huh, guess you can't. It's odd.
Yeah. I think it glitched because I was trying to... Ew, there's a dead person here. I like that you can just move the shelf past the wall.
Oh, that's weird.
Ugh.
Here's what the PlayStation Network says about this game.
Okay.
Welcome to Uncanny Valley, an unsettling, story-driven survival horror where nothing is as it seems. And I am reading it as they wrote it, so that... They should have said survival horror game, I would imagine, but... They say, an unsettling, story-driven survival horror where nothing is as it seems. Explore an isolated facility and solve its many mysteries, but be warned, the choices you make have meaningful consequences that will determine your fate. Play through multiple times to reveal all of Uncanny Valley's darkest secrets. You play as Tom, a security guard working the night shift at an abandoned facility in the middle of nowhere. Already troubled by disturbing dreams, Tom's reality takes a terrifying twist as he explores the eerie offices and corridors of the facility and begins to uncover the shocking secrets hidden within its walls. Key features: a huge, creepy facility to explore, ominous and oppressive atmosphere, compelling story with rich characters, multiple endings to discover, and consequences which impact the story and gameplay. Is that a fair description?
Yeah.
I wouldn't find engaging story, to be fair, but... Okay.
No.
Also, I wouldn't call it a huge facility. It has a bunch of floors, but is it huge? Is it?
No.
I will say this game originated as a crowdfunding game. It was on Indiegogo, and they first developed it for the PC, and then Android, and then for mobile PS Vita, which then got ported to PS4. So they did, you know, they got a lot of support, and they were able to make their dream come true. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's good. While I'm playing a little bit more of this, let's talk about the other game that we were going to play this week that we didn't.
Let's. The other game was Psychopaths, Mandatory Happiness. And it's based off of an anime series of the same name, Psychopaths. And the story of the game takes place... Oh, there we go. The android. You really hit you hard, didn't you? It takes place within the same timeline of the anime, but the two were separated enough that you don't really have to have any knowledge of the one, and I certainly had no problem understanding the story. So, do you remember when we played Hatoful Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is essentially exactly the same gameplay. It is, you push X to move the dialogue, it is static images, and just a bunch of text with, actually fully voice acted in Japanese, matching the dialogue. I'm also getting distracted by your story because I didn't see all this. My goodness. What is happening?
Don't know.
What is Eve doing? You loved her. I don't think this is a healthy relationship.
I don't think so either.
Is she wearing like one of those like old-timey doctor's masks?
I don't know what is going on with her. She just cut off my arm and cauterized the wound, and now
Oh my gosh.
she did the same with my leg.
Oh my gosh.
What?
What is happening? Why is she doing this?
Because she's a
What is she
horrible
doing?
human being? I don't really know.
Lauren, what is happening?
I don't know, but she just said I love you, and now the game is over. So that was good. Good times. I'm really confused.
Well, at least you got to an ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I get into more of Psychopaths,
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley is about a facility that creates AI. And the AI goes loose, and it causes a whole bunch of disturbances, and so the place is shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Eve is a scientist from the facility who, I guess, became a freaking psychopath. And not only can you get involved with uncovering the AI plot, there's also a group of gangsters that are after you that kill Buck if you don't kill Buck yourself somehow. The game is, I don't know, I find the story to be just odd.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little weirded out by it.
It's certainly unsettling, and the oppressive atmosphere, I'll give it, but I didn't find the story interesting enough. It didn't have enough of a twist to really kind of bring you into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Why don't you just hit play and go through a playthrough a little bit while I talk a little bit more about Psychopaths,
Okay.
the game we were supposed to play.
Okay.
So, like I said, I wrote an entire script for Psychopaths because I actually thought we were going to do this one, but because of their whole policy against video streaming, we couldn't do it. But Psychopath's Mandatory Happiness is about a dystopian future in which people are forced to be happy because there are a series of peacekeepers who can scan you and determine if you're happy enough and or psychologically balanced enough to be a criminal or not. And if your color, your hue as they call it, is dark enough, that equals a crime coefficient that the gun will activate and shoot you or stun you, or it won't activate at all depending on how good of a criminal, how bad of a criminal you're likely to be. So the game follows this series of peacekeepers who are solving, they're kind of detectives. They're solving mysteries. We got to find this girl. We got to this missing baby. This weird robbery that's happened, and you follow a bunch of cases. And the big twist is that your character. Well, I don't want to ruin it, but you're connected to an overarching plot in which there's an analysis about whether you're doing what's right or not, because just analyzing happiness as a measure of morality is not a very good way to do it.
Right.
It's interesting, and I played for about 3 hours getting through one storyline.
Yeah.
And I was engaged. I enjoyed it. The game allows you to auto skip the dialogue, so you can just kind of watch it as a movie and make some choices.
Yeah.
But in order to get all of the trophies, my God, you have to play, like, if you want to actually read it, about 10 hours of essentially the same story with some minor branching paths. I tried to get the platinum before we were ready for this, and I couldn't do it. It's so dull. The first time, fun, but I do not recommend it as far as additional playthroughs.
Well,
it's easy though, and easy platinum.
Okay. I feel the same about this game. Like, me personally, I would not play through this game multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, I know you have to like figure out the story and like get all of the like endings or whatever, but
yeah. Well, I'll say this. For this game, if you were to follow a guide, written or video, you could get every single trophy in under 2 hours. Easily.
Okay.
You wouldn't get the full story, and you wouldn't know why you're doing one thing versus another. Like, why did you talk to that person? Why did you get that key? You know, how did you know that the number of that safe was 1973? I didn't know until you looked at the email, which is funny because I actually knew the number previous to this, but I didn't know why the number was that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and following the guide, it was kind of like monotonous. It was okay, do this, go there, open that, collect that. And I got a little bit of the story, enough to know the AI plot and everything, and I looked into the plot further.
Yeah.
But watching you play through it, I said to myself, wow, to have to like slowly stumble upon one little clue and another little clue, pass, it seems way too drawn out.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is not fun.
I mean, I mean, the gameplay is simple, obviously. We're talking about walking, interacting. It's an adventure game.
Yeah.
It's an adventure game more than a survival game. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. There is very little survival about this game.
The atmosphere is oppressive, so I guess the horror part is okay, I guess.
I mean, I don't think that I get scared of everything, but I think for a normal human person, like, the horror parts aren't that horror-y. Do you know what I mean?
The final scene with Eve was pretty good.
Yeah, but that was more just, like, gore stuff. Yeah, that wasn't, like, horror. That was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Let me, I guess, direct you a little bit while you do this, because you'd be surprised at how quick this game can be when you know. Like, the main story is 2 hours. The main story with all extra content is 2.5 hours, and if you wanted to see and do everything, you're talking about 6 hours max on this game.
Okay.
And I'll also say that, you know, as you know, the download for this game is 210 megabytes, a little bit more than that. And the regular asking price was $12.99.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that seem right to you?
$12.99. It's not bad for this, I guess. Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
I mean, of course,
there's not many trophies, right?
no. I mean, okay, if you're a trophy hunter, 12.99 is a big asking point for 310 points worth of trophies.
Yeah.
If you're looking for length of gameplay, 6 hours maximum, that's not enough. 12.99,
Yeah,
that's
$2
not good.
an hour. I don't think so.
But, there's a heavy argument that, you don't play these games for length or for a silly little feature like trophies. You play it for the art, for the story,
Right,
for the
right.
for the experience. And is that worth $12.99? Maybe. It's not bad. It's not super engaging.
Yeah.
Between this game and Lone Survivor, there's a comparison to be made, and I think a comparison brought on by the developers of this game because they also felt that that was a game that influenced them. And when you compare the two games, I think that unequivocally Lone Survivor is much, much better.
Okay. Yeah.
And I won't spoil the Metacritic ratings, but it tends to pan out for most critics as well. So would you want to play our little Metacritic game?
Sure.
So what we do here is we try and guess what the Metacritic rating is, and we try and guess what your rating is, and whether you're going to beat it out. So the first step to this is, do you think that you're going to beat the Metacritic rating?
No.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the highest and the lowest of the professional critic scores that were used to compile the Metacritic average. I won't tell you the numbers, and then you'll tell me what you think the Metacritic score is, and then you'll give your score as well. Sound good?
Okay, sure.
All right, the high score. Despite its few narrative drawbacks, Uncanny Valley remains a genuinely creepy and interesting indie horror experience, and one that should be applauded for its unique consequence system. On the low end. A boring stealth game, made all the more annoying by Tom's bewilderingly poor fitness, 4 seconds of sprinting and he's knackered, and the worst gun in the history of games, it's rubbish. Now, in case you couldn't tell, that second review was clearly done by a UK reviewer. In just 2 sentences, you had a bunch of Britishisms, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But the average gives a score of, what do you think?
Wait, I wasn't paying attention.
What do you think the critics gave it as far as a Metacritic score?
I don't know. 75.
And what's your rating?
50.
Well, you are correct, but just barely. You gave it a score of 50, and Metacritic gave it a score of 52.
Oh.
So you did not beat the rating, but just by 2 points. You're pretty close to the average.
Yeah.
On this one.
Yeah.
The Lone Survivor game, the one that I keep comparing it to, it got a Metacritic score of 81. And we're talking 2D, horror survival, multiple endings. It's a very similar game, and done much better.
I'll have to maybe play that at some point, because I'm not really digging this game that much.
Yeah. I mean, knowing where the key is, knowing how to do the electrical power, you can get through it pretty quickly. There are trophies for completing all of the objectives, which there are only 3. It's befriending Eve, turning the power back on, and I think finding out about the AIs.
Okay.
There's a trophy for never falling asleep in your bed, which you were close to getting. You fell asleep in your bed, I think, once or twice.
Once, yeah.
And I was like, oh, she missed that trophy. That's a shame.
Damn.
Yeah. There's a trophy for in the first nightmare sequence. If you were to continue past the door, there's a tied up man, and if you interact with him, it unties him. There's a trophy for that. Little things, like little just kind of random objectives. You could have used the fire extinguisher to knock down the door next to you. In fact, any of these doors, I think you can knock down with the fire extinguisher in order to get into those.
Oh, when the red light comes on, and I'm like...
Yeah. Which, you wouldn't have known. That's sort of a, hey, I wonder if I can do this.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little puzzles when you're in the AI, the Android section of like combining this element with this electrical source, and now you've got a electrical hand, and you can put that in here, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the AI will quickly knock you out, which is why the trophy for Terminator, which is to kill an android with a gun, is very frustrating because the gun control is terrible, and that's how I died. And I was like, I don't have time to do this again. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I will eventually. Obviously, I am kind of a trophy enthusiast, but I definitely had to take a pause and go, I'll come back to this. The same way that I did with Psychopaths, because that game also was like, I can't listen to any more of this dialogue and the story again with these static images. I mean, think back to Hatoful Boyfriend.
Oh my god, I know.
You got bored with a game that was about like dating pigeons.
Yeah.
And while this game is Psychopaths is more serious and you can appreciate the story once, to do it again and again and again with little variation, I don't understand how that's like. I understand why it's a feature because you want to be able to like play the story to your choices, but for trophy hunters, it is a chore.
I bet. I mean, even once through Hatoful Boyfriend, I was just like, nah, I'm done with this. So I can't imagine. And I never went back to it.
Yeah. And you were genuinely excited about it. I think when we were first doing
just because it was so like, I don't know. It was so novel, a dating simulator with pigeons. What? Like, what?
Yeah. And I think this game has a novelty to it as well, like a 2D survival horror. Okay, we've seen one other example, but that's pretty unique. With consequences based on how you do actions day to day. That's very, time-based days. That's very Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
That's, what is the other game that they said was influenced? Alone in the Dark. That's an interesting combination, but I don't think it is done to benefit the story, and I don't think it's done in a way that engages the gameplay, especially because the gameplay is collect this, walk there.
Well, right, and I mean, like Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's like, you play for 5 nights or whatever. That game seems like it's super intriguing. Like, I would never play it because, again, it's like a horror game, but just like the good things that I've heard about how that game is, about that game, and the fact that there have been so many of them, and like, they're just like this huge indie hit.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is that the environment gets increasingly more hostile as you get further in the game, and here you get a power outage on day 2 or 3, but it doesn't seem like you have to deal with that, or that it affects much of anything other than some NPC dies. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like the world is getting more harsh or there's any pressure to do anything.
Yeah.
You even said to me at some point in this review, what do I just live out my life as a security guard?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the game wants you to feel, and the fact that you felt it, I don't think that that's a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. That's not. You don't want people being like, okay, this is just like a life simulator now. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a small development team from Slovenia, so I appreciate the fact that they had a vision and that they obviously spent a lot of effort to run an entire Indiegogo campaign and to be able to be on the PlayStation Network as a free game. A genuine applause. And I think that this game certainly has a technical expertise that I appreciate, with some minor text glitches that, okay, it's fine. We played bigger games with worse, so I can definitely pass that. But it feels like a first time game. It feels like a first run, a first attempt at doing something.
Yes.
Yeah. So is it worth a download? What do you think?
Oh goodness. No. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, our suggestion is always the same. Buy, air quotes, all of these games.
Add them to your library. If you have PlayStation Plus, then the game is free. And then...
There's no reason not to do that.
Yeah.
But is it worth downloading and actually spending your time if you're a busy person? There are better games this month.
Yeah, there are. For reals.
Yeah. Not that Psychopaths of Mankind Divided got very high reviews from us.
Yeah, and even the Batman one was like,
I would say Batman's probably the stronger one this month.
the
Would you
strongest
agree?
one so far. Yeah, up the month. But
And
yeah.
Batman is probably the closest to, well, it's probably closer to Psychopaths. But Batman's probably the best one. That being said, we haven't done the VR game yet, and because next month still is a January game, I think that we're going to do the VR game next. That is Starblood Arena, which means, and this will be the second time this is happening, you will be the researcher and I will be the player.
Yes. Yes. Roles will be reversed because Tony has the VR equipment and I do not.
It's like the comedy vampire era from X-Files all over again.
Exactly like that.
Well, this has been fun doing it with you, and also I didn't have to guide you for the trophy, so that's, we didn't talk about that you basically found that on your own, and that was the first one you got. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's weird that it was the first trophy that I got. And I was like, okay, because from the beginning I was like, okay, there's the car, right? And I was like, well, how do I steal it? And I kept going back to the car to try to figure that out, but you can't. And I don't think you're technically stealing it because you do have the keys. And Buck is dead, so if it's Buck's car, like, who am I stealing it from? The bank?
Buck's estate, yeah. You know, when I went through the list, there were a couple of options. I really could have gone with any one of them because, honestly, I thought I was going to have to guide you to any one of them. But I said to myself, well, this is the most likely that she's going to, like, understand contextually from the name of the trophy that, you know, do something with the car. And it worked out. It worked out well. So I'm really glad that you are clever and did it.
Oh, I'm clever sometimes, guys.
Thanks for playing this okay game.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining me. And thank you,
and
viewers.
thank you. Yes, all of you. I think we had a good number this time, so I hope you enjoyed or found this useful as a reference point as to whether to get this or not.
Yep, definitely.
And, you know, if you do play it and you disagree with us or do agree with us, please talk to us about it. We'd love to know what your opinion is.
Yeah.
And how would they reach you to do that?
Well, I, on the PlayStation Network, am Caustic Sofa.
And it's a sofa you don't want to sit on.
Indeed. And what about you, Tony? How can I find you?
Well, I'm on the PlayStation Network, but I'm Paradox. It's not spelled a normal way. It's P-A-I-R-O-D-O-C-S.
Cool.
So, tune in next Thursday. We're going to be playing Starblood Arena on VR.
Yes, indeed. See you next week, Thursday. Bye.